Hello everyone, welcome back to BrickVault. Today we are taking a very quick look at a new custom creation. This is the Midi scale Acclamator-Class Assault Ship designed by NoPinGrid, who has been pumping out so many incredible models lately, starting with the Cantrell class, Midi scale Venator, which scales perfectly to this by the way, and Shin Hati's Starfighter. Now they're back going head to head with LEGO's recent release. That's the first time LEGO ever gave us any mention of an Acclamator at all, I believe, and I think this set looks really nice for what it is, but of course NoPinGrid had to make this set look bad next to their version of the build. This midi-scale Acclamator consists of 347 pieces and the parts will set you back around 35 to 40 USD. So with shipping you're looking at a pretty comparable price tag. Granted, it is a little smaller than the set, about 3 cm shorter but with a lot more detail packed into it and without using any stickers to achieve those. So I let you be the judge. If you would rather build this version right here, you can do so because we offer the instructions and parts list on our website brickvault.toys, making this custom build accessible to each and every one of you. We always hand test each of our models to make sure they can be built without any issues and are fun doing so. You can find the link to our web store in the description below. The Acclamator itself is a landing ship belonging to the Republic and is probably most well known from its appearance on Geonosis in episode 2 or in the Clone Wars series, where it acted as the primary form of troop and tank deployment onto the battlefield. As the smaller brother of the Venator-Class Star Destroyer, it served a much more versatile purpose than its bigger brother, which mostly stayed in space as a mobile commando station. This midi-scale adaptation is about 20 cm long, 12 cm wide and 10 cm tall on its stand. Here is a handsaw next to it as a size reference. This model scales perfectly to NoPinGrid's Midi Venator. This is the perfect pairing for under 120 USD if you buy them together. They just look awesome together. And of course, let's don't forget our UCCS Acclamator by Flying Space. This is one of the nicest models we have to offer, but of course not everyone can afford this or has the space to display it, so if you're looking for a cheap alternate, there you go. But let's dive a little deeper into some of the techniques and details. The model took me about an hour maybe to put together with relaxed building, maybe less than that even. It uses extremely advanced techniques to achieve this much detail in this compact space. You can see the only real studs showing are from wedge plates or slopes, the rest is built up using snot, which means studs not on top. A technique to get the surface to be as smooth as possible, and oftentimes it's also easier to get detail into the surface with bricks laying on their sides, as you can see here with the red striping. You can see even the space beneath the wedge slopes of the superstructure have been filled up. The model uses 2 prints for the Republic Navy insignia. There are also stickered tiles available on Bricklink if you prefer not to spend a couple of bucks on 2 pieces, but I personally think it's worth it. The superstructure has been built up really nicely. I especially like the integration of this 3 stud long panel piece here. I love the way NoPinGrid was able to even squeeze some detail into the sides. That's kind of insane to be able to do that in this scale, especially comparing it to LEGO's larger midi-scale Acclamator that doesn't have any detail there except for the dark grey color. The detail continues in the back, where we also have the big and small thrusters. And I think the back is where you can most easily be deceived about the scale of this build, because if you blur your eyes a bit, this can easily be a much bigger model. The underside is most impressive. It uses container door pieces to cover up the anti-studs and also to give the sides this trademark sandwich style. We also have a structure here that most of the time can't even be seen, but there was a lot of thought put into this section with very interesting techniques that I actually haven't seen being used before. Some really advanced engineering here. The model comes with a simple black stand, the same stand from the Venator or Cantrell class. Nothing special, but it does the job. NoPinGrid also included optional landing gear, so it can be displayed in landed position, which is a nice addition. But at least with the pieces I used, it couldn't hold up on its own properly, so I used transparent pieces beneath. Not sure if it's an issue with my particular set of parts, but I think most people would display it on the stand anyways, and having the option still is nice. So in terms of sturdiness, of course this is a display piece, but it can be picked up and swooshed around, but you want to be careful since there are places where pieces can disconnect, so in that regards LEGO's set is probably better, but to be honest, at this scale I don't really care. Like, it's not a big deal if one piece can come off if you can just reattach it. It's a completely different story with larger builds, since they might require a complete reassemble of certain sections, but yeah, otherwise a pretty robust build and fun to handle or do some light play with it. If you want to get the pieces for this build, check out BrickVault.toys. Thanks for your support, consider to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one at BrickVault.